What's up, guys? Welcome back to Peanuts and Cracker Jacks, episode 2. This is the late night edition. We've been trying to get together another episode for a few weeks now, but due to technical difficulties, we haven't been able to. So I'm glad to be here with you tonight. In our first episode, we talked about free agency in general and possible player movement prior to the 2021 season. At that time, not a lot had happened, but since then it has. So come on in. Grab a chair, come on into the brand new Sign Gypsies Red Hills studio. We're excited to have them as our sponsor for whatever sign needs that you have, whether it be birthday, graduation, anniversary, bar mitzvah for all of our young Jewish friends here in Louisville, Mississippi. Get on Facebook, check out Sign Gypsies Red Hills, click on the Book Now button, and Melly will take care of whatever needs it is that you have. But anyway, like I said, pull up a chair. We're going to talk a little baseball tonight. The main topic of our conversation is going to be the big trade between the San Diego Padres and the Tampa Bay Rays, featuring left-handed pitcher Blake Snell. Familiar with Blake Snell? He's the 2018 Cy Young Award winner in the American League, and most recently he was absolutely dominant in the 2020 postseason. Unfortunately, he fell victim to one of the worst managerial decisions in recent history when Kevin Cash pulled him in Game 6 of the World Series, when he was absolutely dealing, and the Dodgers had no answer for him. Unfortunately for Snell, for Cash, for the Rays, and for Rays fans, that move proved to be the nail in the coffin as the Dodgers came across in the latter innings of the game and took the lead and eventually won 3-1 to close out the World Series and bring home the trophy to Los Angeles. But we're not going to talk about the World Series tonight. We're going to talk about Blake Snell going to San Diego and how this affects both the Padres and the Rays in terms of player movement. First of all, from the San Diego perspective, this is an absolute home run. The San Diego Padres desperately needed starting pitching. In 2020, I believe Chris Paddock was their opening day starter. And if I'm correct, he finished with a losing record on the season. The other starters in their rotation, I know Dinelson Lamet was one of them. He's a young guy that they really like. I don't know that I could name another one that was in their starting rotation to begin 2020. They basically went from 20 games below 500 in 2019 to the wild card in 2020 behind an absolutely fantastic offensive year, mainly behind the left side of their infield in Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. But what they really, really, really needed was a frontline starter, and they've got it now in Blake Snell. Again, like I said, Blake Snell was the 2018 Cy Young Award winner. Everybody saw what he could do in crunch time in the postseason this year, and he will clearly be the headliner in San Diego come opening day of 2021. The best thing about this deal is the Padres have got him under control for the next 3 years. They're roughly going to pay him $30 million over the next 3 years, which is really bottom of the barrel money when you talk about one of the top 10 starters in Major League Baseball right now. But like I said, they're in win now mode, and they really made a statement when they made this deal to get Blake Snell. They will easily be a competitor for the wild card. I don't see any chance of them overtaking the Dodgers. The Dodgers still have too much in the National League, but it's going to be really exciting to watch. San Diego's got like I said, two great bats on the left side of the infield. They've got some other pieces like Will Myers and Trent Grisham in their lineup. Jake Cronenworth at second base, although he may move to the outfield. He was a Rookie of the Year candidate this past year. they've got the potential to put up a lot of runs on the board, and now with somebody like Snell throwing, they should win that many more games. Even if they can't pass the Dodgers, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch the National League West this year. Taking a look at it from the Tampa Bay Rays side, this is really, in my opinion, even more interesting from a philosophical standpoint. In return, the Rays basically got two pitchers and two catchers. The marquee name in this deal is a young pitcher from the Padres Luis Patino, a right-hander who the Padres signed out of, it was either Colombia or Venezuela when he was 17. He was throwing 85 miles an hour. 4 years later now, he's bumping 100 miles an hour. Whether or not he ends up being a starter or a reliever, I think it's still to be determined. He had a cup of coffee in the majors this past year. Numbers weren't great, but again, he was only 21 years old. This was his first taste in the big leagues, and with the COVID-shortened season, you can't tell a whole lot. I think you have to take everything with a grain of salt. But Patino was the gem in this deal. Behind him, SEC fans may remember Cole Wilcox from the University of Georgia, big right-handed pitcher. He was the guy that was not Emerson Hancock. Wilcox was projected to be a first-rounder this past year. Ended up dropping to the third round where the Padres picked him up, paid him a signing bonus of $3.3 million, which was a record for third rounders at that time. Obviously, they thought a lot of him to draft him in the third round, but they've quickly dealt him to the Rays in the Snell deal. But he's a guy that, like Patino, could end up either being a starter or a reliever. We just don't know yet. It's too early. He hasn't really put up any minor league numbers that we can go by. The other two guys are both catchers. Blake Hunt was a second-round pick in 2017. The other guy is a guy named Frankie Mejia, who's kind of bounced around. He started with the Cleveland Indians, went to the Padres. I don't want to use the term checkered, but he's had a bit of an up and down career so far. He's a guy with a lot of potential that just really hasn't caught on yet. The experts say that his ceiling is probably a 25 home run a year guy with solid defense. For a catcher, you couldn't ask for much more. And if you're a Tampa Bay Ray fan, if you're like me, I'm not a Ray fan, but I'm kind of tired of watching Mike Zunino. I thought the guy was going to be a star coming out of Florida. He's still good for the occasional big home run, but other than that, he's been one of the most disappointing high first-round picks that I can remember in the last 5 to 10 years. The Rays did sign Zunino to a one-year deal, so maybe he's there to help Mejia mature. Maybe they can platoon, but it's an interesting pickup for the Rays because Mejia could definitely fit in with what they've got going on there. I don't know much about Blake Hunt offensively other than that he was a second-round pick in 2017. I believe he played at Modern Day High School out in California. This produced a number of star athletes in baseball and football and basketball over the years. But the biggest thing here, if you look at the trade, you look at it from the Tampa Bay Rays perspective, I think you really have to say this is an example of when Moneyball goes wrong. Yeah, they picked up some good prospects, but Blake Snell, again, was a guy that led you to the World Series this past year. He was a former Cy Young Award winner and didn't cost you anything. He would have cost you about $12 million in 2020. Again, that is chicken feed for Major League Baseball teams. They also let I'm drawing a blank here on Charlie's name, but God, what is his name? He went to the Braves. I'm drawing a complete blank here. Charlie Morton signed with the Braves back in November, a one-year deal for $15 million. Again, a top-line starter, solid number two. The Rays could have had him for $15 million. They weren't going to pay him that, so they let him go to the Braves. They could have had Charlie Morton and Blake Snell for a combined $25 million, plus Tyler Glasnow for $4 million. So you would have basically been paying three pitchers a grand total of $30 million. That's Blake Snell, Charlie Morton, and Tyler Glasnow. Combined $30 million for 2021. You just went to the World Series. You're not losing anybody on offense. You could have brought all those guys back for a total of $30 million. Do I need to tell you how many pitchers in Major League Baseball are making $30 million by themselves? Okay, Garrett Cole makes $36 million by himself. Jacob deGrom makes $36 million by himself. David Price, who hardly has pitched the past 2 years, will make $35 million this year. Zach Greinke makes $35 million. Steven Strasburg makes $35 million. We're talking about a 1-2-3 punch that would have cost you $30 million total, and you let that go based on philosophical beliefs. That's really hard to understand from a Major League Baseball perspective, but that's exactly what the Tampa Bay Rays did. A year removed, or not even a year, a few months removed from barely losing the World Series. But I guess when you have that philosophy, which has always been, find young players, develop them, and not spend any money. You know, the A's started it back in the early 2000s. They still believe in it. The Tampa Bay Rays are an excellent example of it. They are playing that game to its fullest extent. Where it takes them, we will see, because beyond Glasnow, they really don't have anything in the rotation this year unless Patino is to become a starter or they've got somebody that they're going to move to the bullpen. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting. The Rays still on paper should be one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the American League. But I think to drop your payroll $30 million when you were the American League champion is again, it's a case of when Moneyball goes wrong. The Padres, in my opinion, are the clear winners in this trade, at least for the next 3 years. With prospects, you never know. All 4 of the guys that ended up with Tampa could end up being stars. You know, we'll see. With the offense that he's got behind him, I think Blake Snell is in a great position to succeed. I think the Padres, at the very least, will be the the National League wild card winners this year, and will have them a shot. They still don't have as much as the Dodgers. They still don't have as much as the Braves, in my opinion, but it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And that's not the only move that the Padres have made in the offseason, but we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to cut this off because I don't want to take you too long. We're going to try to get another one out maybe in the next few days. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about what the Padres have been doing. Maybe we'll talk about some of the other moves around baseball. But for right now, this is Peanuts and Cracker Jacks. Be sure to like, comment, share, tell a friend, do whatever you do on social media. But we appreciate you watching. Look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks. We're out.